Hello, everyone. We're just going to give everyone a minute or two just to log in. Thank you all for joining today. Awesome. Awesome. So we do have a lot of content to go over today. So we are going to be getting started right away. Welcome to our webinar of top tips for grand openings. So maybe you are in the process, you have a grand opening coming up. Maybe your practice is 1 year old. Maybe your practice is 20 years old. Regardless, the tips today are going to help with anything that you need. So thank you again for joining. Bit of introduction. So my name is Sadie. I am an account manager here at Marketing for ECPs, and I have had the absolute honor of working beside Dr. Shao from iLab. Thank you so much for joining, Dr. Shao.
Thank you for having me
Awesome.
here, Sadie.
Yeah. So Dr. Serena Shao is the owner and optometrist of iLab Optometry down in Scottsdale, Arizona. It's 2024 and you are entering your third year of business. It's been a wild ride. It's been so much fun working beside you. What we're going to do today, we're going to highlight a little bit about where you are today. So in her first year, Dr. Shao averaged over 100 new patients monthly in her first year in business. What that did is that fueled the momentum in her second year to actually branch in an aesthetic medi-spa. And Dr. Shao, you found the most success in that year too, from your current patient base, trusting you as your favorite optometrist, and then branching into the aesthetic services that you offer. And in that second year, you were also proudly the one who performed over 75 temperature sessions in just 1 year. So what we're going to do today is we're going to travel back in time, back to December 2021, when you were a cold start, the town did not know who you were, and we're going to go back into the lessons that you learned along the way that got you to this successful point in your practice. Awesome. So Dr. Shao, I gotta ask, why the name iLab and why is there a cat in your logo?
So I was when I was building my office, my business plan, I envisioned my practice to be a place like a laboratory that whoever comes into my door, I would like to transform them to someone healthier or someone younger or more beautiful place. So that's why that I put lab into my name. And then the reason why there is a cat in the logo is because so if you take a like distance look, if you kind of back up a little bit, you will see that the logo looks like a pupil, like an eyeball. But however, if you look a little bit closer, it's actually a kitty cat with a long tail. So the reason why is because cats they are the biggest passion in my life. They give me all my happiness in the life. And also my another passion is of course my career, my profession, optometry. So when I was building this big project, iLab, I want to incorporate these two loves in my life into iLab. So that's how we designed this logo. I want to share the happiness to the world.
Oh, I love it. And it took off. It got viral. People loved the concept of it. You also have your mascot, Simba, who greets people in the practice. So you can go get your eye exams and also hang out with cats all day, which is hilarious. Really cool. And a fun fact about Dr. Shao is she had dreamt of opening up her first and owned optometry practice since she was 13 years old. So it was really memorable to be a part of this project and kind of bring it to life. And this brings us to our first tip when it comes to grand openings and creating branding, which is tip number 1. Be more than friendly, be memorable. I cannot express this enough. Here's Simba on your website getting his eye exams done. This picture brings so much laughter to people. It definitely is memorable. People don't search for friendly eye care. You won't see people seek that out in today's world. They simply expect it. So it takes something to differentiate yourself. It takes something to stand out. And for those tuning in, I'm not saying incorporate your pet into your branding. That's not necessarily the recipe for success, but something different. Definitely something to stick out. So you had opened up in December 2021 was when we first opened up your doors. We had so much fun creating your branding, which is a pivotal point in any grand opening. Now, the second tip is get the town excited. Be everywhere and start early, especially for your case where you didn't have your name known in the town. So you kind of have to have that cannonball effect. If you want momentum, if you want to have a successful start, be loud. So Dr. Shao, tell me a little bit about your grand opening event. I can see Simba here joined in the fun. Tell me a bit about that.
Yeah, so we opened our door end of December 2021. Um, However, we waited for about 6 months to really start our biggest event, the grand opening event. The reason why I did that was because I wanted to have enough time to establish my patient base in the system, so this way I can physically invite them to our celebration. And so how do we prepare for the grand opening event was that about 60 days prior to the event, I reached out to local social media influencer. I um I invited them to come to I offered them like a free eye exam like experience to come check out our office because we label ourselves as like a VIP eye care experience. So the experience starts right when they first come into the door. So we had them documented, like film reel throughout the whole exams. We're not the typical eye exam place, just do like 10 minutes eye exam. We typically spend like technicians spend about 20 minutes. I spend about like 25 to 30 minutes on educating, building like treatment plan with the patient. So we focus more on the education part. So that's why I call it as a VIP eye care experience. So we had them documented, like film reels, post on their social media accounts, generate impression leads, and also promote our event. And I also reach out to, we print out physical copy of the invitation to our handed to our current patient, also nearby doctor's office, nearby business, nearby neighbors, everyone resident locally. And also another thing that I did was that I joined as many of the networking group in the area to get myself out there, my name out there, my brand, my office, my business out there to promote myself. And at the day of the event in June, we have more than 70 attendees show up at our event, and I will actually consider it that was pretty a great success of the event.
Of course it is. 70 people. I mean, that's 70 people already advocating for your business before you even open up your doors, right? They tell one person, that doubles pretty quickly, and you've got momentum, you've got excitement in the town. That's incredible. So going into our tip number 3, and for those that are just tuning in as well, I just want to make a point. Again, maybe you're already into your first year of business. Maybe you're well into, your practice. You just feel maybe like you need a refresh, or you are adding new services. You can still follow these concepts. So get an event going, get the town excited. Maybe there's another demographic that you're trying to reach that you haven't yet before. So events can, and still in your year 3 are still successful. I think you have to kind of cap yours now on the attendees because you have so many people wanting to go to them. Awesome. The tip number 3, and I cannot stress this enough, is especially if you've got a very memorable brand, you've got events happening, what a great time to first take a moment for yourselves and be proud of yourself for this huge milestone as an optometrist, but also to invest in content creation. So many of you optometrists, you have beautiful interiors, beautiful exteriors, and they're worth showcasing. Sometimes that can actually be the distinguishing factor of people deciding to choose you as for their eye care needs. Especially in today's world, I find you can only write so much that describes your brand and your essence. Visually or even through video showcasing it goes a long, long ways. We're 3 years into your business and we still use imagery that we took at that grand opening event. So it's well worth the investment. We have to highlight this. This is your other cat, Sasha, who's a little bit more introverted. Here's a frame sale that we run annually, get 20% off. I mean, who's not going to click that cute cat? Who is not going to click that? Awesome. So you've done the grand opening. We opened up your doors in December 2021. I remember it well. I think we ran ads at 7 p.m. to your cell phone. We were just trying to grasp as many leads in the area as we could at the time. We definitely hit the ground running with your marketing plan. We created momentum, got the town excited. At the time, in December 2021, you were, of course, the only optometrist, but you had one other staff, and to date, you have about 4. Tell me a bit about some lessons you've learned when it comes to staffing and how to hire the right people.
Yeah, of course. So as a practice owner, I'm sure that everyone know that staff in management is the most challenged, most difficult task as being a business owner. And the number one thing, well, that I learned throughout my journey is that you have to hire fast, fire fast. I know it sounds a little bit wrong, but so when I was at the beginning of my office like stage, my practice stage, beginning part, I was very lucky that I found this optician that she came in with 14 years of optical experience. She was great. She helped me build the whole optical department. But everyone, we're all human beings. Everyone will have has like good habit, bad habits. But as soon as you start noticing some red flags in anyone's behavior that start not aligning with your practice core value, that's when you start need to kind of brainstorm and see if like you need to do some changes. And I took a risk. I was still trying to, during my whole hiring process, it's just not smooth. I was like, I hire and then I fire and just not working out. And then I decided that I want to try a different route. And then because I recall that when I was younger, like when I was 16 years old, my previous employer gave me this opportunity to work in an optometry office, work as optician. And that got me interested in optometry, and here I am. So I decided that maybe I should give the young ones some chance. So I reached out to the pre-optometry club in the nearby university. It's for those students that who's interested in becoming optometrists. And so far things been really great. They have become my best staff ever that I could ever imagine, because you get to train them really from the scratch, from the ground. And I love my staff because they are, like, I found them to be the most adaptable. They're eager to learn. They're very passionate about what they do. So that's my tip, I think. And I made a really, really good decision on taking a risk. Yeah.
I love that. I mean, look at this photo, you guys on Halloween dressed as the Barbie crew. You can just feel that there's a passion for where they work there. And I love the story that you worked in the field so young. It was your optometrist that inspired you to pursue a career in it. Who knows, if you're hiring, the next generation, you might inspire them and kind of carry on the legacy, which is awesome. And it's not the only industry to find success in that. Sometimes it is best, again, we're not saying in all cases, but sometimes it's worth a try to switch your strategy and take someone without experience and train them up. But of course, it does come with, you need a good training plan. So you can't, of course, hire someone with new staff and just expect them to know everything. But I'm sure you find there's advantages to being younger. I'm sure they're more savvy with some stuff and bring cool concepts to the page as well. Awesome. So tip number 5, again, you've got now the people in the right spot. You've got an amazing culture at work. We've got the branding. So now we had your soft opening, grand opening in December 2021. Really unique time of year because that is on one case when people are often using their benefits at the end of the year. But a lot of people in your town already had optometrists in mind. So we kind of had to capture the overflow rate. Now, I cannot stress this enough as the account manager. The most amount of fuel is always used during takeoff. And if there's any by chance pilots that have joined into this, I did fact check that, and it's not true for the airline industry, but it is true for marketing. If you want to create momentum, if you want to create that splash and get the town excited and ensure that they know you're an option, you have to put fuel into it. We had so much fun with it. Here's one of them from one year early on grand opening sales, offering 50% off your second pair of frames. We've done YouTube ad commercials from Simba's perspective, giving a tour. We've done so many fun things. Definitely reach out to myself or Dr. Shao if you have questions specific to that. Marketing for ECPs on our website does have webinars specific to this that are definitely worth checking out. We have one that focuses on how to properly capture your marketing plan, and we have another one specific to how to properly build your marketing plan. So we won't go into too much specifics as to what the marketing plan is, but Dr. Shao, maybe we can hear from you. How did you go about choosing what marketing would be right for launching iLab?
Yeah, so we have to talk about back in the school days. So when I was in school, optometry school, I remember that that was the only one class that they offered to talk about optometry business, like practice management class. And the only really the only key point that I brought home was that the professor, the doctor, taught us that leave the specialty to the expert. Don't try to pretend yourself you're a CPA. Don't try to pretend yourself you're a marketer. Don't try to pretend yourself like you're an optician. Just leave the specialty to the professional because they spend years researching study to do their job. So, and then us, we study to be a doctor of optometry. So we need to focus on what we are good at, which is being a doctor. So that's why that when I was recruiting, like finding all the vendors to help build this practice together. I chose marketing for ECP because they specialize in optometry marketing for years and years. So of course that I'm gonna choose them. And from I remember the first meeting that I had with Sadie. She's my account manager. That she was so confident. She had the same confidence as I do. That she told me that, Dr. Shao, you just gotta trust me on this. Just trust me on this. Let's do this business strategy plan. Give me 2 months. I'm going to fill your book. Like fill your good book up. Even though we're like really a cold practice, and just 2 months in, she filled my book 12 patients every single day. Like just 2 months in. Like, how is that even possible? As a co-star office. So yes, you gotta just trust the expert. That's everything that I can give to you, the tip.
Aces in their places. That's what I always say. I think at
Yeah.
one point you said we got to slow down, and I said, no way. I know your 1 year goal. We're not slowing down.
Yeah,
I mean,
so yeah.
yeah, we've had so much fun. The team absolutely loves working on your account. And it again comes down to branding, in my opinion. If you've got something memorable, there's so much fun you can have. Marketing should be fun. If you've got a really cool story that's memorable, relatable, then marketing is often effortless. It's just about making sure you get your story in front of the right people. And that brings me to this slide. So again, there's other webinars that go into this in way more detail that are so worth checking out. But all in all, if you have a memorable brand, make sure you are telling your story around the town. Make sure you are creating interest. Again, it doesn't have to be a pet, but you're walking proof that that works for sure. Capture your leads. Hire the right staff. Make sure if they're the ones answering the phones, they're the first touch point representing your brand. Make sure that they're capturing and getting them in the books. And of course, never stop celebrating. Just because you're hitting year one, throw another event. Keep celebrating. Invite all those that chose you throughout the year and who stay loyal to you, and give them reasons to keep coming back. Awesome. Now we do have a couple minutes here left for questions. There is a chat box if anyone who's tuning in has specific questions for myself or Dr. Shao. I'll give you a minute to type those in. And if not, that's okay. We can always be reached out later on. I think I've got one here. Can you give us some tips on how to build a successful marketing plan? Absolutely. So it comes down to different points in your patient's journey. So there is a handful of people, I call them Sadies like myself, who like clockwork are going to wait till the end of the year, push it back on their to-do list before they schedule their annual eye exam. But you want to get your memorable brand, your story in front of them as much as you can throughout the year, so that when they decide that they need your service, they don't shop around. They already subconsciously know, oh, I think that's the one I'm going to go to, the one with the cats, or the one here, or the one that does this. So consistently getting your brand out there throughout the year is very, very effective. Then, of course, you have the ones who are ready to book. Maybe they've only got 5 minutes on their lunch break and they are actively searching, often on a search engine. You've got to make sure that your branding, your website, your ads are right in front of them. And then the last, of course, make sure that you're nurturing and educating people. Speaking to Dr. Shao's case, you know, she branched into dry eye therapy and the aesthetic side. A lot of people find that if they have watery eyes, I'm sure a lot of people tuning in can relate to this, you know, oh, I have watery eyes. I don't have dry eye. I have the opposite. Well, you have to educate them often through blogs or email marketing or social media on what that is and create the realization that they should seek you out. Another question here is there a checklist for marketing? The thing about marketing is there's so many different factors, right? Someone who's in a small town is not necessarily going to have the same needs as someone in a very big city. Someone who has a goal of opening multiple locations, not going to be the same marketing plan. So there's not a one size fit all. Marketing is a science at the end of the day. We do have a checklist for events. And again, I am happy to kind of be contacted afterwards if you have specifics regarding the checklist. Another question here, what is the best possible way to ensure clients attend an event that they've expressed interest in? We've run events where people say they're coming, but just don't show up. That's a really good question and a very common thing. Dr. Shao, do you want to maybe speak to that one?
Yes. So we have this special email campaign with marketing for ECP. So we first will start sending out the event information, maybe like 1 month or 1.5 months per the event, and then followed by three more emails reminder for the to the email list that we handed to marketing for ECP. So that's, and then we're also going to send them like 1 day reminder too. And for us, for my practice, that do it even more aggressively is that I have because we have very, very close relationship with our patients in like the patient that we have in our practice. So my staff will physically call them to invite them, because like those like the best friend patient, our best friend patient, that we will call them and say that, hey, whatever, Vanessa or like Steve, David, can we have this event that we would like to physically invite you to come here, and we also send out a physical copy of the invitation to their house, and then we also text them. We just keep showing ourselves, in front of them that, hey, come, you're gonna come, and then we also call them the day before too to make sure that they will be coming. So it's just, I think the key point is that you have to be best friend with your patients. And I always like to teach my staff, like number one thing that I teach my staff is that every single patient that come into our door, that we have to treat them like they're my family. They're our friends, they're family, they're neighbors. I usually don't like to wear the doctor hat in my office. So that's why all my patients, they find me very, very personable. They can reach out to me 24/7 because my office phone actually connect with my phone, that they can text me whenever they want. So I think
Yeah.
that's a key point.
Yeah, if you find that you're throwing events and you're not having a successful attendance rate, maybe look into possible gaps. Maybe again, this goes back to one of our tips of content creation. Maybe it's worthwhile showcasing one, even if it's just friends and family, to peel back the curtain and show them how exciting these events are, and then using that in your marketing material on the website, on social media, in emails. If you have an exclusive list, text them that so they have an idea of why it's worth their time. Be very transparent about it. Give raffles, give giveaways, let them know the price value of those giveaways. That would be my suggestion. What is your Insta page name? I can't find it. I'm assuming that's for Dr. Shao, not myself. Dr. Shao, what is it?
Let me see the Instagram page.
Now we have her cat Simba has one. So you
Yes.
have quite a few, but we'll
So it's
give the practice.
iLab_Scottsdale.
iLab_Scottsdale.
Yeah, and then I don't do my Instagram page myself. I have two staff member. They're the hourly rate staff member that I have them generate social media posts like at least 2 or 3 times a week.
Awesome. Just a couple more questions, then we will wrap things up. This is a question for you, Dr. Shao. What do you look for in a marketing agency?
What do I look for? So when I was picking my marketing agent, I want someone that who is responsive. And then during our meeting that Sadie and also Trudy that they did tell me that the response time is within 24 hours, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So that was actually my key like number one thing that I look for, that they have to be responsive. Because like, for example, what if the website's down? What if like the schedule link is not working? What if just something about the IT that something's going on, or like the marketing, like the ad is not running right or something, that you have to make sure that you can find the agent immediately to fix it, because every single booking is very crucial for your practice. So
Yeah.
that was what I expect. And then they deliver very well. We've been working together for almost 3 years.
Thank you, Dr. Shao.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, especially in your first year of business, there's always bumps in the road. So I'm very happy to hear that you feel we are responsive. That is definitely something we value and care about for sure. Another question here, any special tips for easing patients into annual price? Obviously, nobody likes to pay more, but it's a necessary evil. We have a loyal patient base, but it's always awful when patients get angry and cancel when everyone else has increased as well. Seems to be a tough part of nurturing the loyalty. That is a very relatable situation that a lot of optometrists are going through right now. My personal advice, I don't think in the right situation, especially if they're your loyal patient base, whether it's in person or in communication or through effective email, is transparency. Often I think their anger point is probably misunderstanding as to why you're increasing this. And I also don't think there's any harm in, especially if you're in an area where it's getting competitive, maybe with some corporate bigger names, to express the gratitude of, hey, we're one of the only few privately owned practices. What that means is we might have higher prices, but this is what you get with those higher prices. Make sure that they understand, to Dr. Shao's point, you have way longer, eye exams. They're not 10 minutes.
I can share something.
Of course, yeah.
So so for we because we every single industry has to fight with the inflation. There's an annual inflation in every single industry. So everyone understand. So one of the thing that I would say that's a very, very crucial thing that we do it right at the check-in is that I make sure when during check-in, my staff, my receptionist, they will go over every single paperwork with the patient and have them sign together. They understand every single clause on the financial policy, the ABN, everything. So and then they know what co-payment they're paying at that day visit. So we are super, super transparent. So we never have anyone argue with us at the checkout, because they are like everything is very, 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 very transparent. And and then you just have to make sure that they get the value that they're paying for at the, at the date of the exam. So they're not going. So once you give them the value that they're looking for, they're not going to question your fee. So that is what I believe.
Awesome. And we just have another person agreeing with your staffing process. You can't treat old dogs, new tricks is something to be considered. We cannot agree more. Awesome. So we do have a QR code. We are going to wrap up here. Thank you again to everyone who tuned in and who is watching this later on. Scan this QR code to download our event planning checklist. Again, it doesn't have to be specific to grand openings. It can be any event celebrating your 3rd year, celebrating your cat's birthday, celebrating one new frame line, whatever you want to be excited about. I'm sure your patients will love it. And without further ado, again, if you have more questions for Dr. Shao, she has offered her email address to speak to you about specifics in her business model or questions you have. And if you have questions around marketing, whether it's events for grand openings or other milestones in your business, feel free to reach out to myself as well at sadie@fortecps.com. Thank you again to everyone. Have an amazing day.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Shao. Bye.